Well, our goal for this car is to transform it back to what it looked like whenever it rolled off the assembly line. This is a 1950 Plymouth that we drug out of a barn that had been stored up for somewhere around 25 to 35 years. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Yes, sir. And it's easy to see that it's got some age on it. Now, when we did drag this thing out, it actually had a car cover over it. Can you imagine what it looked like if it didn't have that thing? Now, it's not every day that the actual car cover matches the paint. I know, these guys really and truthfully did their part to accessorize it. Now, cars of this age have a lot of chrome and cool retro looking colors, and this one, well, it's not really showing off all those features. The front end of a car is oftentimes how you really and truly can identify it. It's like its face, if you know what I'm talking about. This 1950 Plymouth has got your standard like tri-bar grille in it and a chrome bumper, headlight bezels, so on and so forth. Now with the hood, it's got quite a bit going on with it. You've got the piece of trim that runs here across the bottom, the Plymouth name plaque. It actually has a hood emblem and a hood ornament, that big ship up top. Now, this stuff was designed to actually kind of sell you the car. It was how the designers kind of made theirs stand alone. Now, if you also notice this type of grille, if you think about a late 40s Cadillac, this one is pretty similar, except for it's kind of just narrower because it's not as big of a car as those Cadillacs. Now, my goal here is to make this chrome or bright work shimmer again. And you know, that's cars of the 50s is what they're really known for. And a little bit of effort on this stuff will go a long way. And we're not going to make it look perfect, but we can definitely make it look a whole lot better. Another statement piece from back in the good old days are these big, huge white walls. Now these don't really look very good at all. And it's because of them sitting in that barn with all that dust and stuff. They basically turned back yellow. Now the tires honestly are junk. Like they hold air and they roll, but you can see the air in them more or less because of the dry rot cracks that are here on the side of it. So as far as the safety goes, if you were going to put this thing out on the highway, we need to buy some new ones. But our efforts today is to make these things look like they did way back when. And so to do that, well, we're going to have to put some of that elbow grease on this thing, to say the least. Now also, one cool little thing that I just noticed, this car is sitting, well, the wheel is positioned like it was whenever we drug it out of the barn. If you'll notice, there's a lot more dust sitting here on the top of the hubcap and this little lip as opposed to the bottom side, and that's where everything is settled on that upper side. Now, we'll clean these things up, and I'm really curious of how much effort it's going to take and what it's going to look like when we're done. I'm hoping for something spectacular. Now, obviously, we're going to have to address its exterior color, this robin egg blue color, because you can see it's got a bunch of funk and dirt and debris laying on top of it, except for this section over here and that one over there. And that's because all of this had been laying across this thing, working on that big flathead 6 up under there to get it running. And also, if you look at it, it kind of has like a greasy spot. That's because of my hands. I probably should have been using something a little more, let's say, to protect it, but we didn't know if it was going to be any good or not. So to clean this thing up and give it back its reflection that it once had, we're going to put some pretty good chemicals on it, try to get all that funk off of it, and then we'll have to ride a buffer quite a bit to give this thing back all that shimmering gleam that it needs. Whew. That is the part that I am not gonna lie to you guys, that I'm dreading the most, because it's probably going to take quite a bit of time. But if we do it right, it's also going to make the largest statement whenever we're all said and done. First thing though, I want to see what that chrome looks like. And before I get too carried away here, I just called this thing robin egg blue, and that's not right. I'm just curious of the actual name you would call this thing. I hope it's something awesome. Brunswick Blue. That's what it's called. Let's do this again. 1950 Plymouth paint code. And here we go. Salvador Blue. That sounds a lot better than what I was thinking. Now, I'm going to do just half of this thing first. And some of you guys may end up kind of cringing a little bit because you should have washed it first. You should have did all that. It's my car. I'm going to clean it this way. I'm just using some glass cleaner, which I know I'm using glass cleaner on chrome, but I wanted to see what it would look like with just a simple rub down, like minimal effort, if you will. That's some nasty stuff. After we get all this cleaned up, we're going to take it another step, which is a little bit more abrasive. It's pretty easy too. Now, as I was saying earlier, guys, the grill is actually made out of stainless steel. And that's the reason why a lot of times you'll find them old, crunchy cars, but all the chrome still looks good. Well, it's really not chrome. And since stainless doesn't rust, that's why it looks like it's like so just amazing looking, and the rest of the car is not. And that cleaned up pretty good for 45 seconds spent. Now down here, this is the chrome. This is a steel bumper that is plated, and it doesn't look all that great with just glass cleaner applied to it. You can tell we're not even really wiping off a whole lot of it. Now, oftentimes a front bumper will be in way worse shape than the rear bumper, and you have to think about it. It's because going down the road, this one's picking up all the rock chips and stuff from following the car and passing vehicles and so on. I feel relatively confident that this next step that I want to do will go a really long ways with it. What I'm going to use is just some steel wool. This is a lot like those people refer to them, you know, it's like a SOS pad with soap in it. Now this is just the pad itself. There's no soap in it. It is basically an abrasive. You can use this thing to clean glass. I wouldn't recommend it on paint because you will actually scuff it. But here on the chrome and the glass, that surface is so hard, it will actually polish it. And by polish it, I mean it will just remove all the contaminants that's sitting on top of the surface. Our stainless steel, if you look pretty close to it, it's got some of those chunky pieces on top of it. It's got some scratches. It won't fix those. But what it will do is it will remove all that stuff on the top. You also want to make sure too, this is some of that dad wisdom and or been there, done that kind of stuff. Don't get too carried away. Just kind of rub on it nice and easy. Pay attention, because if you get to flailing your arms around, there's sharp surfaces on this thing, and you can wind up with a quick trip to the ER or to the toolbox to grab some electrical tape. This chrome is really going to brighten up a lot more than it's got on it right now. This thing is almost got like little pokies all over it, and it's where corrosion has happened. And it really kind of looks like it's just dirty, and it's because it is. But this stuff will definitely brighten all that chrome up. It will actually remove some of that rust like it did right there. What happens is that rust is kind of like a cancer, and it will crawl across that surface. Now, it won't remove where it's down to the bare steel. That will still be a dark spot. But where it's kind of leached out on top of everything, it kind of scratches it off. Now with these steel wool pads, they make them in different grits. This one is the 4 zeros. They make 4, and then 3, and then 2, and 0, and I think they even make it in like a 1 grit or something like that. And whenever you get those, it's the actual strand fiber, or the strands of that metal gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Makes it a lot more abrasive. You could try something like a 3/0 or a 2/0 on here, and it may go faster, but potentially it may scratch up the chrome a little bit. But I don't know if that wouldn't be bad on this particular one, because of, in all reality, if it makes it look better, you're not really breaking it. There's also, you know, we've all seen companies that offer chrome polish. And usually that stuff has 2 ways of doing it. It can either be the chemical process, which is some form of a material that goes on there and it kind of dissolves the corrosion or the contaminants that's on the surface, or it can do it mechanically, which means there's like an abrasive that's in it, and then it removes the material. Best part about this stuff, you can get it any hardware store, parts store normally, and it's cheap. Don't really cost much. As long as it doesn't get wet, it don't really ever go bad. And you can use it for a lot of stuff. Shoot, I've seen some guys use it for paint and body industry. But that ain't right. Poke this stuff in a rust hole, smear body filler over top of it. It keeps all that body filler from falling out. This is kind of one of those tasks that would be pretty sweet. Nice fall day, sitting under a shade tree, hanging out with your buddies. Maybe a few beverages, sweet tea of course. Just chilling up, catching up with your buddies. I remember doing this as a kid. My first car, we couldn't afford to put new chrome on it. So my old man was like, we can clean it, see how good it looks. I bet I cleaned that bumper 10 times. Was it perfect when we were done? Nope. It was better though. You don't really have to apply a bunch of pressure either. Sometimes you just have to rub it across the surface. Keep on, keep on, keep on. You'll slowly start to see everything brighten back up, getting more and more like a mirror. And the next thing you know, you go, man, that looks pretty good for about 5 minutes worth of effort. If you're curious about how long you have to be here, well, at one point you'll just realize you're rubbing on it and nothing's really happening. And also sometimes, you know, this first step is going to look dramatically different. Well, give it a week or so, clean your car up. You might grab one of these, do it again. Next thing you know, it's a little bit better. It's like 10% better instead of 50% better. Next time you go to a car show or even cruise in or just see an old car, take a look at the bumpers on it. Boss man just got here. Time to tighten up. Yeah, we're going to need those. Come on in, Pop. I'll put you to work. Pop, you ain't good at cleaning up chrome bumpers? Sound like you just talked me into it as a kid.
Right, yeah, definitely. You know, why should I do it when somebody else did?
Man,
You know what I mean?
sound like he was thinking this through. How many chrome bumpers have you cleaned up in your time?
Oh, geez. 5 years. 500.
100. This one is really brightened up. You should check it out. See what my before and my after looks like.
Well, I was cleaning it every other weekend. I bought a magazine that had a 65 GTO furnace. That's what I used to have for work. 389
Mm-hmm.
Blew the doors off. Got a
He's talking smack about MoPars.
You know, I mean, they go sorry. Because I didn't have one. I did have a 68 Plymouth. 318.
Come check my bumper out. It's all good. Can you see any difference from one side to the other?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's had a stroke or if it's had a facelift.
I can tell you,
You had a facelift?
I had a stroke.
Man, if you're that good looking now, imagine what you were like before.
I know,
Shoo.
Yeah, it all looked good.
We just spent a couple minutes on it and one of them little, yep, old timer tips.
I noticed one side that real bad rust was.
Yeah, this one had a pretty good one on it. It cleaned up a lot better than, you know, it's like that bumper to have it chromed cost you $800 to $1,200 today. I just spent 30 cents and 30 minutes of time, if that. And that glass cleaner really does look pretty good. Does your hand still work?
Yeah, not too good.
Man. It doesn't matter if you're slow, just as long as you get the job done.
Right.
Yeah.
I think most of it will be clean.
Yeah. We're gonna see what it looks like today. If it makes that kind of transformation from A to B, shoot, that's gonna be worth it. Let's see if I can take this hubcap off without breaking my key. Yeah. Now to clean this thing up, I referenced your mom giving you a tip, and that is using some of this Ajax, or what some people call Comet, which is just another brand. I've used this stuff in the past to clean up my white leather tires, and I remember in the good old days, my mom would go to saying, "Where is this stuff at? Who's been at it?" And, you know, you instantly deny it. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. How will it? Ooh. Look at that. There's stuff. We're just going to sprinkle it on there. There's probably a warning somewhere that says, "Do not get this on your skin. Don't breathe it. Don't inhale it." Well, this stuff is kind of an abrasive, if you will. Like the body shop world, if you was doing a cheap paint job, you can wash a car with this stuff. It'll clean it, it'll scuff it, all at the same time. The first goal is to just kind of get it on there so that it can work its magic. I'll be careful around that valve stem. I don't want to break it off. May end up having to roll the car around to get us a little room on that top side. They make some good cleaners on some of this stuff for cleaning up tires and all, but I think I used it all. So I'm resorting to my old school method. Kind of neat as you sit here and you just keep scrubbing it. You can see it's actually kind of changing colors. Going from that warm tan to kind of an off-white. Now back in the day, you guys probably have heard of a tire cleaner they used to make called bleach white. If you had white walls or white leather tires or whatever, that stuff was kind of neat. You could spray it on there and just watch it melt. This black stuff would start running out of the tire. But supposedly they sold the company, or the company got sold, and when it did, the formula then changed, and then the product changed. Didn't clean nearly as good as it used to. How true that is, I don't know. But I can tell you, the bleach white of today is not the bleach white of yesterday. Now, it's pretty satisfying. See this thing, as we rinse it off, see all that junk kind of flow away. Let's see if I can scoot the car back. Whew. Now, I told you guys earlier that these tires weren't in the best of shape. And right here, whoo-wee. There's just something satisfying about cleaning up an old car. I guess it's part of the, you can see it start to happen. All that effort is paying off. This old car ain't the fastest, but it's still pretty neat. Not the most expensive. Just tootling around in it. Kind of transports you to a different time. Makes you think about things a little different. Almost enjoy just driving a car. Alrighty, moment of truth. See what this thing looks like. Y'all ready for this? It's not as clean as I was hoping. Which, granted, this thing's got a lot of age on it. It was funky, nasty. I mean, it's better than it was, but it's still not as bright as it could be. I'm gonna look to see if I can find if I do have any fancy cleaners. Give me a minute. Ouch, I need a minute to walk around. I did end up having some. I found this piece of bottle of this wheel cleaner that I didn't know I had. Now this stuff, I ain't gonna lie to you guys, it's some pretty serious cleaner. And you can tell from the markings, if you will, it looks like this tire's bleeding, of what it's actually doing. I bought an old car. This is what happened. Let me tell you the story. I bought a Lincoln. Yep. Continental, 2006-ish or something, from a friend of mine. And it's got these alloy wheels on it. And the dude I got it from, he keeps his cars nice and clean. So whenever I got it, first thing I was doing is I was washing it too, because I wanted to take the lady out on the town, if you know what I mean, and the car's got to be clean. Well, I noticed in all the grooves of the wheel, there was like rusty looking stuff. So I sprayed, or I washed it first and kind of scrubbed it off, and it wouldn't come off. It looked like almost like coffee grounds in a way. So I was digging through, and I remember I had some of this stuff, and I sprayed it on there. And when I went around to the car, I come back to the first one where I had started, and I started washing it, and it took that stuff and almost instantly took it away. And so I had to spray them twice, but I started first with a standard like dish soap and scrubbing the wheel, and it wouldn't touch it. With simply spraying that junk on there, it like melted it. So I really like this stuff. I didn't know I had it. And you can see here on this tire, which we didn't clean it like we did back there, but you can see how it's kind of pulling all that dirt and debris gunk out of there. So I'm gonna spray that other one back there, and let's see if it does any more, because you saw where I just scrubbed it with that Ajax stuff. And it don't take that much effort just to spray it on there. And you'll waste it on the center of the wheel. Now what that red stuff was, that's where it's taking like iron deposits and dissolving them, and they're kind of running off. You'll notice it really starts to happen around that steel wheel and all. Even here, we just sprayed that stuff on there, and you can see black stuff running out of that tire. So it's working. If I'd had that before, I would have saved all that effort of scrubbing it, which this may go further, I guess. And that reminds me, I'm going to put this stuff up before I go to looking for it, and then I start yelling at myself. This tire up here in the front looks like a crime scene. Not too shabby. Stuff kind of stinks. Thank you. Jeez, holy cow. Well, it is some cleaner. It's a little whiter, but not perfect. But really knew I wouldn't get perfection out of it. It looks better. Let me clean my hubcap up. We snap it on and move to the paint. Holy cow, we're not cleaning that side. Rinse off my handprint. Call that good. I'm using some dish cleaner that has been known to save ducks because it removes grease. If you guys will notice up here on top of my car, it kind of looks like a Dalmatian dog. That's because when I was working on the engine, I had the engine popped and I had soaked the cylinders down with some Marvel Mystery Oil. And at one point when I was turning the engine over and the plug was out, there was this geyser of that last plug that squirted straight up, and it rained down upon the car. And I'm here to tell you that it went so high that it actually hit one of my garage doors next door that was 12 feet tall. So I had to clean it. And with the car, I said, oh, it hadn't ran yet. So I said, I'm not even fooling with cleaning it because I don't know if we're going to be able to use the car and what all that was. So to land the plane, I'm using this dish soap because it can help remove grease, oil, and etc. And then I'm going to use these little detailing brushes. I'm going to go around all the nooks and crannies first, and then we'll follow up with your regular wash mitt to clean the big broad surfaces. I know some folks would just go ahead and rinse it off and all that, and there's no right or wrong for what we're trying to do. All we're trying to do in the end is to have a clean car, and then we can start shining her up. Now, I always like to use a lot of bubbles. It comes back from my childhood. Y'all don't have to judge me. If you had hot water would work better. It helps to loosen that debris and dirt and stuff a lot better. But this brush that I got, it's kind of like a shoe polish brush almost. It's a little more forgiving. The bristles are relatively soft in it. So it's big, and it makes it really quick process of scrubbing out all these nooks and crannies. Now, if you're curious why I did this first, it's because if you just went to wash mitten, there's a pretty good chance you could skip around and lose yourself, kind of miss a lot of spots. I'm not saying I won't miss any spots doing it this way. This is just the way that I've done it in the past and seems to work all right for me. You don't want to use a really, really coarse bristle brush because potentially you can scratch up your paint. Now this old car, paint on it's not super good. So it's a little more forgiving, to say the least. Because it allows you to get in there. So what do you guys think? How well do you think it's going to clean up? I wonder how long it's been since this thing actually had a bath. It's been a while. You know, there's a lot of tips and tricks and stuff you'll run into with folks that's cleaning cars, and some of them are odd. It's kind of like, you guys are familiar with station wagons. A lot of times with station wagons, what do they have? Wood grain on the side. Gentleman I know that has fixed a bunch of cars in his time told me about, you take that and you rub it down with transmission fluid. Yep. If you do that, it will help bring back that luster in where they're all faded out and smoky looking. Gives it a richness. I remember the first time he told me that, I was like, okay, that's cool, sure. I have a few station wagons. So I came home and I tried it. And it worked. Now, yes, over the period of time, it washes off and goes back. But all you need is some more transmission fluid and a couple of grease rags. Wipe it on there, wipe off the excess, brightens it up dramatically. Don't believe me? Try it. Just go to the mall. It'll be fine. Or Go to town, find you a station wagon. Just jump out, they'll be totally fine with you. Okay, time to wash it with the big one now. Woo! Rawr. Sure hope this stuff takes the junk on the top of this thing off. Better than it was. Still feels greasy. I know normally you wouldn't completely clean an entire car with a scrub brush, but when I use that wash mitt, you can feel it's not really getting the stuff off of it. Now this one's got that oil on it that's kicking our tail. And this brush seems to be doing a lot better job at removing it. Yeah, it feels like it's taking it off. The drag is completely different. Whew, getting tired. Trying to like clean up my cleanup. Kind of drying on me. As funky as this car is, it might take a couple of washings to get it to its required cleanliness. Let's just rinse it off. Whew. You can see the oil still on the roof where it beat it up. Not too bad, not too bad. Always save my buffing materials, like the little pads and that kind of thing. One is they're a little expensive and you never know what you're gonna get into. Now, if it was a really, really nice car, like some of the stuff we've painted in the past, I would definitely use a brand new one. But this old car, man, all we're trying to do is, you know, make it somewhat better. So I've got an old wool pad, some cutting compound, and we're fixing to throw it here on the side of this car. Now, sometimes you can just wax one and it'll do a lot. Sometimes you can cut it, you know, use that rubbing compound. I don't know what's gonna work best, and I dove right into the top of this fender, so we're gonna have to make it look like something. So we're gonna hit it with like a licking, I promise. Have a quick and dirty. One of them car lot specials. And more than likely, this is kind of one of them situations that can look a lot better, and then it can look a little lot better with even more time spent. You could spend 2 days polishing on this thing. And would it be worth it? Well, it depends on what the car means to you. For us, we're just trying to, you know, spiff it up a bit. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time, and hopefully we'll get some pretty good results out of it. So, as they say in TV land, you can cue the montage. Pretty proud of what we've done here. This thing stands pretty tall. Now, if you remember back, this is just number 2 of those 6 barn finds that we're basically getting started on. that we've called the Dirty Half Dozen. Now, if you guys really dig this thing, well, you have to stick around for those other 4 that we've got planned. And please remember to hit that little follow button. That supports us, and we appreciate all your efforts that you guys are doing. And don't forget, keep it between the ditches.